Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. The most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." The trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. When you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat. Peace is not absence of conflict, it is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. Inflation is as violent as a mugger, as frightening, as an armed robber, and as deadly as a hit man. We are never defeated unless we give up on God. Life is one grand, sweet song, so start the music. It's true hard work never killed anybody, but I figure, why take the chance? Government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. Republicans believe every day is the 4th of July, but the Democrats believe every day is April 15th. There are no great limits to growth because there are no limits of human intelligence, imagination, and wonder. Democracy is worth dying for because it's the most deeply honorable form of government ever devised by man. Government's view of the economy could be summed up in a few short phrases. If it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. And if it stops moving, subsidize it. The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave. You can tell a lot about a fellow's character by his way of eating jelly beans. I've often said there's nothing better for the inside of a man than the outside of a horse. My fellow Americans, I am pleased to tell you I just signed legislation which outlaws Russia forever. The bombing begins in 5 minutes. Latinos are Republican. They just don't know it yet. There are no easy answers, but there are simple answers. We must have the courage to do what we know is morally right. It has been said that politics is the second oldest profession. I have learned that it bears a striking resemblance to the first. Within the covers of the Bible are the answers for all the problems men face. Surround yourself with the best people you can find, delegate authority, and don't interfere as long as the policy you've decided upon is being carried out. Don't be afraid to see what you see. There are no constraints on the human mind, no walls around the human spirit, no barriers to our progress except those we ourselves erect. Before I refuse to take your questions, I have an opening statement. Some people wonder all their lives if they'd made a difference. The Marines don't have that problem. Government does not solve problems. It subsidizes them. All great change in America begins at the dinner table. I have wondered at times what the 10 Commandments would have looked like if Moses had run them through the U.S. Congress. Man is not free unless government is limited. Today, we did what we had to do. They counted on America to be passive. They counted wrong. How can a president not be an actor? I know in my heart that man is good, that what is right will always eventually triumph, and there's purpose and worth to each and every life. The problem is not that people are taxed too little. The problem is that government spends too much. We should measure welfare's success by how many people leave welfare, not by how many are added. The best minds are not in government. If any were, business would steal them away. I never drink coffee at lunch. I find it keeps me awake for the afternoon. History teaches that war begins when governments believe the price of aggression is cheap. Without God, democracy will not and cannot long endure. A people free to choose will always choose peace. Status quo, is Latin for the mess we're in. Government is like a baby. An alimentary canal with a big appetite at one end and no sense of responsibility at the other. Information is the oxygen of the modern age. It seeps through the walls topped by barbed wire, it wafts across the electrified borders. Recession is when a neighbor loses his job. Depression is when you lose yours. Government exists to protect us from each other. Where government has gone beyond its limits is in deciding to protect us from ourselves. But there are advantages to being elected president. The day after I was elected, I had my high school grades classified top secret. If we love our country, we should also love our countrymen. Let us be sure that those who come after will save us in our time, that in our time we did everything that could be done. We finished the race, we kept them free, we kept the faith.